Hello everyone, welcome back to Escape Roots Yoga. I'm Jody. Today we are doing a spicy vinyasa flow. Should be pretty quick, but perfect for if you are wanting a good stretch but a little bit of a burn. So we're gonna get into that stretch and strength by balance today. We'll start in child's pose, big toes. Oh boy, big toes together, knees apart. Work your way down into a child's pose. And you can just drop that forehead down onto the mat. Just give yourself a few breaths, a few moments here to fully arrive in the space. Breathing into those side ribs. And committing to having a good practice. Committing to listening to our bodies. And pushing just hard enough and knowing when to back off. When you're ready, roll your way forwards into a tabletop position. Take your pointer fingers towards the top of the mat and then drop the belly, roll the shoulders down the spine, lift the chest, really pull the belly button back towards the spine, and then exhale, press the floor away, find lots of space between the shoulder blades, draw the chin all the way down to the chest, keep pulling that belly back towards the spine. 2 more like this. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, and exhale, press the floor away, belly button pulls back. Maybe you're even pushing the hips forward, squeezing the glutes. Drop the belly, roll the shoulders down the spine, lift, inhale. Exhale, find your opposite. Return back to your neutral spine and then walk the hands out a little bit in front of you and just begin to find a little bit of a roll with the hips. So drawing some circles, maybe counterclockwise first. Doesn't matter which way you go, we will do both. And then when you're ready, switch sides. Just kind of beginning to warm up the body, warming up the core here. And then we're going to kind of change this into a spinal roll. So press back to your child's pose. Inhale, roll your way forwards, coming through your cat back. And then drop the hips down, pull the shoulders away from the ears, come into a big cobra. Exhale, hips press back to that child's pose. And we'll find that again. Inhale, roll your way forwards, coming through cat back. Exhale, sink the hips down, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and then send the hips up and back, making your way back to your child's pose. Try to link this with your breath now. Inhaling as you come forwards. Exhaling as you sink back. Inhale forwards. Exhale, sink back. Nice work. From here, make your way back to your tabletop. Tuck those toes under. Hips go up and back. Downward facing dog. Nice work. Breathing here. Find any movement that you need to kind of get ready for a little practice. So maybe that's bending the knees, straightening the knees. One leg at a time might even feel good. And then we'll find that same spinal roll. So rise onto the toes, roll forwards, finding a cat back in your downward facing dog. So puffing up through the spine and then bend the knees. Send the hips up and back, come through a cow back and work your way back to a downward facing dog. 2 more like this. Inhale, come forwards through your cat back. Exhale, make it back through your cow back. 1 more. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. This time, inhale, come forwards to your high plank. Lower down knees and chin. Inhale for cobra. This time, elbows are more bent. Exhale, lower the chest. Curl the toes under. Pick the thighs up off the mat and then press up high plank. Press back downward facing. 3 breaths here. Let everything slow down. Tip your tailbone up towards the sky. Let the neck hang nice and long. And then rise on the toes, bend the knees. And you can step or jump to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Feet are about hip distance apart now. Reach for the elbows. And just let the torso ragdoll over the legs. You can take a little bend in the knees to really try to find that connection between belly and thighs. Lengthen through the back of the neck. And then bend and roll all the way up to stand. Nice work. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Interlace the fingers, all but your first 2. So Kali Mudra. Feet come together, send the hips over to the left, really opening up through that left armpit, left shoulder. I'll turn sideways so you can see, drawing the belly in and opening up more for 3. Pick those kneecaps up, 2 and 1. Slowly come back to the middle and we'll take the other side. Inhaling here and then exhaling over to the other side. Swaying your hips out as far as you want for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to the middle. Inhale, find a little back arch here. Hips can sway forwards a little bit. Glutes are engaged. 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale. Forward fold. Nice work. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank, Surya Namaskar A, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale for your upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog, 2 breaths here. Breathing through the nose, keep those lips together. Gaze goes forwards, rise on the toes, bend the knees, hop feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, right back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back for your plank. Lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. 3 breaths. Gaze forwards, rise on the toes, bend the knees. Jump feet to hands. Inhale, half. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands come down by your side, Samastitihi. Take the hands out about, or the feet, out about hip distance apart. Take the hands behind the back into imaginary back pockets. Then we're gonna press down on the glutes, pressing the glutes down and away, and then send the hips forwards, keeping those glutes engaged. Find a little back arch. Going back as far as feels good for 3, for 2, and 1. Go ahead and come back to your regular stance. Hands come to the hips. Bend the knees and physically tip your pelvis forwards, almost like you're spilling it forwards as you bend the knees into a forward fold with a deep bend in the knees. So you might be starting to feel kind of a decompressing of the low back. That's good. That's what we're going for. If you can't find it, you can kind of sway around here a bit. Or you might not find it. That's fine. We're all more similar than we are different, but we are still all a little different. When you're ready, step back, high plank. Move through a vinyasa. Inhale, right leg reaches up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the top knee. Look under that left armpit and then work your way over into a wild thing. Opening the chest. Feeling that heart, that chest area really growing. Maybe you're taking the right hand behind the head. Spreading the elbows as far apart as they can for 3, 2, 1. Swing your right leg all the way around and through, finding your fallen triangle. So outer edge of the right foot is on the mat now. Left arm up towards the sky for 3, 2, 1. Left hand comes down to the mat. Roll onto the ball of the back foot. See if you can tap your chin once. See if you can tap your chin twice. Step back, high plank. Nice work. Downward facing. Right foot to outer edge of right hand. Left foot to outer edge of left hand. Sink those hips down nice and low. Malasana squat. Breathing here. When you're ready, we're gonna sink down a little bit more. So maybe you're turning your toes a little bit more forwards. Then we'll take the right hand behind the head like you're trying to look for the tag on your shirt. Left hand behind the head, looking for those right fingertips. And we're reaching, trying to find those arms typically associated with Gomukhasana or your cow's face pose. So from the back, it's just gonna look like this. Reaching for those fingers. A strap can be helpful here, or using your shirt. And you might even kind of want to use your head a little bit here to press back, really stretching and opening through that right tricep. Okay, extend the arms out to the sides. We'll rise up nice and slow for 4, 3, 2, 1. At the top, sink back down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the other side. So left hand goes up, right hand goes down. Once again, maybe using your head to just press back on that left tricep for a few breaths here. Awesome. Release those hands. Come back to that wide T position. Rise up nice and slow, drilling into the heels and trying to rip your mat apart by spreading the feet for 3, for 2, and 1. Hips go forwards at the top. And then exhale. Place your hands down. Jump your feet back for high plank. Work your way through Vinyasa. Meeting back in downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, lift your left leg sky high. Exhale, bend the top knee, look under that right armpit, and then open up for Wild Thing when you're ready. Once again, opening the chest up towards the sky. Maybe that left hand is even coming behind the head, spreading, opening the elbows for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand comes down. Swing your left leg all the way around and then through. So you're getting the outer edge of that left foot on the floor, right arm reaching up towards the sky into your fallen triangle pose. Lifting those hips nice and high. And then place the right hand down, roll onto the ball of the back foot. See if you can tap your chin once. Whew. See if you can tap it twice. Step it back, high plank. Grip with the fingers, shift the weight forwards, chaturanga. Press back up, high plank. Press down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Nice work, everyone. Press those elbows down to the mat. Now come into your dolphin pose. And we'll stay here for 5 whole breaths. If you would like, you can begin to walk the feet in a little bit closer. You can lift one leg up. Maybe this is as far as you want to go today. Maybe you want to look forwards towards those fingers and begin to shift your weight forwards. Possibly without kicking, rising into a Pincha Mayurasana or a forearm stand. Playing, enjoying. And then if you do make your way up, make sure you try to enter on the other side as well. One side might be a little tougher than the other. That's totally normal. And if you have been upside down, let's come down into a child's pose. Back where we started. In your child's pose, let's take the elbows down to the floor, palms together, and then press your forehead down in between those hands, trying to reach the thumbs for the back of the neck. Maybe even want to inch the elbows a little bit forwards now. Okay, roll your way forwards. Camel is next. So tuck those toes underneath you. We're coming up onto the knees. And then hands can once again come to those imaginary back pockets. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and really activate the glutes here as you begin to work your way into a back bend, opening up through the chest. Try not to crunch the neck, so keeping the crown of the head kind of reaching towards the back wall. And when you feel like you need to come out, you can just come back up onto the knees. We'll do about 3 like this, and then on the last one, I'll give you the option to transition to wheel, and I'll workshop that a little bit for you. So when you're ready, take your next one. Using the breath. Coming out when you feel like you need to. Back bends are very overwhelming for us. They often make our heart rate speed up and kind of send us into a bit of a panic. So if this is you, then just be gentle with yourself. Focus on your breathing. And as always, if you need a little extra padding under the knees, take it. And one more, this time option to kind of reach back for those heels and let yourself really open through the chest, through the heart. And coming back up when you're ready. Okay, go ahead and sink down into a bit of a toe stretch here. So you're on your knees and your toes are curled underneath you. So to go from camel into wheel, we need to keep the biceps up by the ears and follow the arms back as you come into your back bend. So your eyes are going to be following the fingertips all the way back. So sometimes that's a bit of an issue for us where we'll kind of let the head continue to go back and not bring the arms. So make sure you bring the arms with you. And something else we need to do in this transition is trust ourselves a lot. So as you send the hips forwards and the hands back, the head back, just mentally, it's a little bit tricky. So trust yourself a lot as you do it. And don't be afraid to wipe out. Don't be afraid to try. And I did not warm this up, so I will not be afraid to try here. Hopefully it goes okay. So biceps come up by the ears, possibly on an inhale. And then maybe on an exhale, you begin to work your way back. Hands reaching for the floor, and then pressing up into your wheel. That went much better than I expected. Don't be afraid to keep practicing. Keep trying. And then when you're ready, make your way down onto your back, drawing that chin into the chest. And coming into a twist to finish off. So you can take the right leg, cross it over the left, finding your eagle legs, and twisting the legs over to the left. Maybe pressing into that left elbow and seeing if you can scoot your left ribs forward, so up towards the sky. Just increasing that twist slightly. Letting the heart rate kind of stabilize here. Letting your breathing stabilize. And making your way over to the other side when you're ready. Once again, possibly pressing into that right elbow and then getting into your twist. When you feel about even, come back to the center. We'll just take constructive rest pose to kind of close off. So feet to the outer edges of the mat, knees knock into the middle. Oftentimes when we do a lot of back bending, the hips end up getting a little bit open. So this kind of gives us the opportunity to find internal rotation with the upper thigh, which is going to create a little bit of space in the upper back, namely in the sacral area. So if you're wondering why this feels so good, that might be it. And when you're ready, work your way into your Savasana using whatever props you need, whatever props you want. Oftentimes I like a bolster or some blocks under my kind of upper thigh area. It just allows the low back to flatten out a bit and it feels pretty nice. So go ahead and take that for your own toolbox if it's not already in there. And just go ahead and come into rest. Yes, you do have time for this. This is the most important part of yoga. Learning how to give our bodies rest. When the ego wants to keep going, keep moving with our days. Allow yourself to just be perfectly still. Let's see what comes up for you. We learn so much about ourselves when we actually let ourselves be quiet and still. When you're ready, begin to move the body in tiny ways. Breathe a little deeper. And then begin to make your way up to a seated position. Maybe rocking the head or rolling over onto your side. These are options, these are not requirements. And coming up to whatever seated position is going to work for you. Bring one last breath together. Arms come up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands start at center. The highest in me bows to the highest in each and every one of you. Thank you for practicing with me today. I know you have lots of options on YouTube, and feel free to ask me questions, talk about what you want to see on this channel, and I will respond, and I will do that for you. That's it for me. I'll see you next week. Namaste.